There's Kevin. Hello,
Hey,
Kevin.
Hey, everybody.
That's Kevin. That's Kevin.
We're trying to figure out
Mr. Rimsky.
what
Mr.
our
Rimsky.
issues are.
Today we're doing fenders on Deutsch's 53 Ford. It's in the booth. Should have been in the booth 30 days ago, but we switched vehicles around, and what we did was we pushed the 73 Challenger through, as you saw in the previous video. But today we have a different story. I'm going to show you this. And I'm taping up the windows today. We rolled her over. We were going to drive her over, but the seat is still out for upholstery. So what we got going on is we got these aftermarket fenders for F100. But if you look, the tire sits forward of the fender. I've seen this as a post on Facebook. We're on a couple groups on the F100 pages. And the tire doesn't sit totally center. It's because there's more here and less here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these fenders and then center them up. For some reason, we're running into this because the previous fenders that were on this truck didn't have this problem.
No.
And then we just found out recently we see an issue. And that's just not acceptable. All right, Kevin, this is where you take over.
Well, what we're trying to do here now is I'm just getting a look to see. I've added tape to it. This is how far we're at least going to move it forward. This will be basically where your opening will be when we're done, and this is where it'll be in the front. So hopefully we can get the tire to where it looks centered in the wheel opening better. So it just looks like everything is thrown forward in it, where it's actually not. It's the fender has got, like a foot from the embossment on the wheel opening to the nose, which is about, I would say, probably close to 2 inches off of where it ought to be. So, like everything, the repop parts don't fit the vehicles you're putting them on. So now you got to make a $100 fender, put $300 worth of time into it to cut it out and re-weld it all back together and then re-body work it all to make it look nice on the truck. If you look at the back fenders, you'll see it's a lot better. Those are factory fenders.
Let me get up and look at this real quick. You'll see nothing's changed on this. We're using an aftermarket chassis, but the fender wells are pretty good. That looks really nice. And it's supposed to have a little bit of a gap on this side, but the problem is it's a little more dramatic. And we saw it on a Facebook F100 page, like I was saying. And the guy cut this and he moved it forward about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, whatever, and it just cleaned it up. We're not moving an amazing amount here. We're just going to move it just a little bit just to make it so it looks like that. So aesthetically looking, so it flows nice. We're not changing the arch or anything. We're just going to cut it and scooch her over a little bit, and unfortunately, we're just gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
So.
But it'll be all right. We'll make it work. It'll just take a little bit of time.
Yep. So we're gonna kind of try and shoot some video footage on this and how we're gonna fix this little dilemma that we see. If we let it go, it just wouldn't look right. So we want to make the truck look really good. I mean, geez, she's coming out sweet.
Your tire in the back is almost centered in your wheel opening, where this is way forward.
Yeah. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. The fenders that this truck came in on, they were fiberglass. We had fiberglass running boards, the fiberglass valance, and it was just an absolute, it was not what we wanted to do. We had the original fenders and the sheet metal here, and everything was good, but we didn't want to offset it with keeping the fiberglass fenders. Well, sometimes I wonder they fit. For the first time, I can say this, the fiberglass ones we had on here that we gave to Deutsch's son to sell off, They actually fit better than these, and I'm kind of regretting it.
Well, the fiberglass isn't real durable either.
No, it's
especially
not.
as stiff as this chassis is.
Yeah.
They'll be spider webbing in a couple
Yeah,
years.
and if you tie into this to the running board, which is where you do tie into it, would just break the fiberglass. You could not tie the running board into it,
When
so
you step on them, you're going to mess up the running board too. Because
Yeah.
they're just not durable.
no. All right, so that's where we're at.
That's our story for the day.
Okay.
Where we stand right now, we've cut out the wheel opening on the 53 Ford. In order to center up the wheel in the opening, we've actually managed, right here looks to be almost 1 3/4 inches. We may move it back about 1/4 or something, just to, because it should have a little more to the back than the front. And I think we're going to be pretty happy where it lives right there. But that's roughly as far off as these fenders were, the way they were manufactured. So what we'll do is we'll get everything exactly the way we want it, and then we'll put a few tacks in it to hold it, and I'll go to the other side and we'll get started, get that cut out. We'll get all that measured out, get the fender back on the truck, make sure we like where everything lies. We'll do the same exact thing over there as we did over here, get everything lined up, and then I'll go back in. We'll finish cutting, and we'll go into finishing out the fenders, and we'll start body working the fenders out, get everything to where it looked just before, except that our wheel opening will be moved forward about 1.5 inches.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us here at Classic
You're
Car
right.
Creation.
Yeah, gets better all the time, huh? Buy new fenders and gotta move them.
I knew.
All right.
I learn more every day.
Poor guy.
Hey, it's not that bad.
No, it's
We'll
not.
get
It's just time, but we had to do it. All right. Thank
All
you
right.
so much, Kevin.
Thank you.
Back
Thanks
to
for
live
watching.
action. Yeah. Back to
I'm gonna get back to work.
Oh, same here.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Here's where we're at on the second fender. We've cut it out. We've actually cut 1 inch, well, it's actually 1.5 inches out of the front edge of this part of the fender. I'm going to actually piece it back into the back. I'll have to add about, I don't know, 1.5 or 2 inches at the bottom. And then the bend on the bottom will be almost perfect, so we'll cut it right above the bend. We'll weld this part in, top part in, then we'll put the piece in the middle. This thing will be just about ready to go. We'll just have to body work it and get it back fitted to the truck. We should have our gaps nice on the tires, so we'll have good clearance when you turn the wheels. And it'll actually, front to back on the front tire will look right now, according to what the factory used to be, versus, I don't know, whoever made this fender. It's just about 1.5 inches off, so. But that's what we're doing at this point. We're gonna wrap her up for today, and then we're gonna finish her out when we get back over here, and we'll fit them up to the truck. We'll actually show you what we're doing when we fit them up to the truck and make sure everything looks right. We're only gonna do tacks, just like this fender here. That way, if we wanna move anything forward or aft, we can do it to get our gap exactly where we want it. Thanks for joining in, and hopefully we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.